everyone, it's Robin, the Artsy Bohemian. We are on day 3 of the 12 days of Christmas. We're going to finish the cute little snowman. I did a little bit of prep so that, because it would have just taken too long to videotape. So the next thing you're going to do, well, first of all, hopefully your snowman hat dried and you glittered up your snowman head. And what I did was, yesterday I showed you to prep the bottle, add some glue and a little bit of tissue on the bottom and tissue on the top. So I already did that on this, and I added the Christmas tree that we decorated yesterday. I just plopped some glue down in there very carefully, and then I pushed the tree all the way down. You're going to need tweezers to do that. The next thing I'm going to show you is I usually mount these on a tart tin that I paint. So this was painted with spray paint, so it looked something like this first, and I sprayed it 3 times separately. And my favorite paint is called Modern White from Krylon, if you want to use that. So the way that you're going to do this is you're going to make sure that the bottom is clean. So clean it with rubbing alcohol. And you're going to be using E6000. I know not everybody likes using that, but it's a really good industrial strength glue. So you're going to clean that off and clean the tart tin. And look at your bottle to make sure that the Christmas tree is facing the way you want it. So I like it this way. So that's going to be my front. And you're just going to squirt a blob of E6000. Typically this takes at least 24 hours to cure. I'm going to glue it on there, and in about an hour I will come back and show you the next step, because we're going to be adding some lace to the edge, which kind of attaches to the tart tin and the glass, so that it kind of holds it all together as extra security. Put a nice amount on there. You can get E6000 if you've never bought it. Usually most hardware stores have it, or a hobby store. It's been a while since I've used this, since I haven't been going to any classes because of the pandemic, because I usually go to physical locations to teach. I use this quite a bit in my classes, and I haven't. Okay, so you're going to glue it down. Just going to double check to make sure this is the way I want it. Also, you can see I added glitter in there. So add everything that you want. You do have to make sure that the tree has dried. Don't try to, well, I guess it doesn't matter as long as the top is open, but try to make sure that this dries before you put the snowman on top. And again, I put it on my stove so that it dried quicker. I'm just kind of moving this around. I might have to put a little bit more on there. So it looks like you guys are liking the project. I'm glad. And you're gonna die when you see the other projects I'm gonna show you. I'm kind of waiting on something in the mail that I bought from eBay. I'll let you know what it is. Hopefully I might get it tomorrow. So it's gonna be this week sometime. That'll show you the next one of the projects that we're going to be doing. I'm just kind of taking the excess off, and I'm going to let that sit. Okay, so I'm still waiting for the bottle to dry with the tart tin underneath. And while it's been drying, I've been figuring out what I'm going to be putting on her hat. And I typically use a lot more flowers than this, but I just love the way this looks. Just a single, it's a paper flower. And then I might add this little tuft of baby blue flower. I've in the past I've put little fluffy feathers before, so you can decorate her hat as you know, any way you want. And then I usually put some kind of band around the top hat. And so I was looking at this first. It's pretty, but it's so light that you can barely see it. So I might use this, or I might use one that I use all the time. You know how you like to try to mix it up. But sometimes things work, and that's what you should stick with. So, I mean, this might be okay. It's nice because it's kind of solid and will show up, but I don't like it. So I'm going to stick with the one that I use a lot. Anybody who's taken a class with me and bought a kit, I usually put this in there because I got a ton of it when I was downtown probably about 2 years ago. And it's turned out to be such a great trim for lots of things. So I'm going to glue that down. And then I'm going to put my flowers on. So I'm going to cut it. Like, that's right about. I'm just going to glue it with just some regular glue. And I grabbed some of their little forget-me-nots that I had, but I know I might kind of put them in there, little tiny pieces. We'll see. Okay, so I glued down her little floral arrangement here, and I glued down a piece of trim here. And so now what you're going to do is look for some lace that you're going to be adding to the rim for her collar. And we're going to be using 4 different lengths. Let me just show you the sample. I have to bring this out a little. So there's the first one is a more of a opaque, solid, ruffled eyelet. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that. I don't even know if I have any of this anymore, but what I'm saying is try to stick with different types of lace. So this one's an eyelet. It's a solid, and it's only probably about 1 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch or 5/8 of an inch. The next one down is a see-through one, and that's probably about 1 1/4 inches, maybe. The one after that is a little bit longer. That's probably like 1.5 inches. And you can see that it's more opaque. This one's see-through. And then the last one is a see-through because initially when I first started making these, I tried making the tree really fancy, and I put a cute little bird on the top. You can't even see it because of all this. So at least you can kind of see through it. So the one on the bottom is probably a good 2 inches, maybe a little bit longer. So think of it as kind of, you know, different lengths so that you get a nice full collar. And then I always add some kind of bow. This is a bow made from lace, and all I do is gather all of the laces a lot of times what happens is I'll gather like 4 of them, and then I'll kind of push, you know, look and see how they all look together, and I may not like them. So you might not like everything that you gather. And so I started one here. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's just taking a needle and thread and just going in and out and in and out until you've gathered enough to fit around the mouth. And you're going to do all 4 of them and then kind of line them all up and see how you like them. And so I still have to do a little bit more on this one. I need to gather it some more. I can kind of futz with it and see, you know, if I need to do any more. You're going to need at least a foot, probably more, of each lace. I would probably make sure you have at least 2 feet of each lace so that you can play around with it. And so do 4 of those in 4 different lengths. And the one on the top, I might do something like this where I've gathered, just made like a flower out of this lace, and it makes a nice base for the head to sit in like this. And of course all of this is going to be covered up with more lace, but just think about something like that maybe. Okay, so we're going to finish up here. It takes some time to do all these little ruffles, especially if you're like me and you make a bunch and you don't like them. So I think I'm just going to be doing the poofy little flower for the top of the head, or the collar. And then this one here, this is about about 2 inches wide, and that's going to be the bottom one. And then I did find some more of this eyelet trim, and I didn't really have to gather it. I'm going to just be laying it down here, and I think it looks pretty like that. A trick to finding out if you like the layers is to gather your piece, gather it, and then, you know, keep putting it around the rim to see if it fits. Once you have gathered it enough so that it fits around the rim, you're going to give yourself a little extra just in case. You can always trim it off if you need to. And then you're going to pin it like I did here, so it can stay put while you know, like a dressmaker, you're going to kind of put everything on here first to see if you like it. And then once you like it, you're going to glue everything down. It's going to look like that. It's going to be really pretty. The other thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take, this is still drying, but it's dry enough that I can add this, glue this on. I'm going to be putting a scalloped trim on here and gluing that down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to start it by tacking it down with hot glue, just so it doesn't move around. And I like the scallop look because it's, I don't know, it's just kind of pleasing to the eye, to me anyway. Make sure you know what the front and the back is. And I just was thinking about this today. After we're done with the 12 days of Christmas, it's very likely that I will be selling everything. So this will just give you a chance to have a fair shot at buying anything if you want. So on the last day of the 12 days, I will be announcing what time they'll be for sale and what day. More than likely it's going to be the day after or probably the same day, which will be the 12th. We'll see. So this overlaps a little, but I'm just going to cut it off after it dries. And whatever parts are sticking up, I can go back in and just glue them down. Tacky glue should work well for this. So I'm just going to leave that there and then glue the rest down once it's dry. Another thing I did was I added some little tiny details. So I took, this is just a fake plastic stem from some foliage I got from Michael's. And then you can add stamens. So I did these right here. And I might add a couple more. So it's kind of nice. This is a nice little added touch. They're tiny, but they kind of add some nice detail. And you can usually find these in the floral section of Michael's if you don't have any. And I might add a pearl here. A lot of times I just buy stuff from the flea market. I've just been collecting for years. And I mean, it's possible, if you want, I might have kits available for some of these things that we're going to be making. Just let me know if that would be of interest to you. Alright, so now we're going to just glue the head on and the rest of the pretty little pieces here. So because we have this nice paper piece here, we should be able to just hot glue that right on there. I'm going to just tack it down here first. And just, again, be cautious, careful where you know the front is of your piece. I think this is the front here. So I'm tacking it in two different places so it's a little bit easier. And then I'll go back and open this up here. A little bit of an overlap. So there's the first layer, and here's the little trim on the bottom. I'm going to go back in and just glue all these pieces that are sticking up down. I just wanted to make sure it stayed first. It just makes a big mess if you try to, for me anyway, if I try to glue it all down at once. Just do it in increments is a little better. And then I am going to put down this piece. Actually, I'm going to do this one first. And the hot glue really does stand up to the test. Because this is how I've been making them for a few years. So far so good. They haven't come apart or anything. It's just that hot glue really doesn't work too well when you glue directly to the glass. That's why I put the paper down, and it seems to be a nice little base to start with. There's a little bit. And then this is the last one. You have to be careful with this part if you're going to be doing this. You have to really make sure it's flat so that when you glue the head down, it won't pop up. And we're done almost. So cute. Just gonna make sure I'm gonna sit it the way I want it to look. Okay. Okay, you guys. So cute. I'll have pictures at the end so you can see more detail. They never disappoint. I hope you enjoyed that. I have some other projects. One of them is going to be taking old Christmas lights and soldering them or gluing them to really old bottles. I'll show you. These haven't, they're so dirty and old. I was gonna give them away, and then I thought these would be cute. So this is gonna be another project. These are really old, and I think I have a bunch of them, so I might put some kits together, or at least sell some of these. I love how the paint is kind of chippy. I'm waiting for some pink ones that I got on eBay, but look how cute these are, you guys. We're going to be soldering the bulbs to the bottles, and I'm going to go over how to not solder them. I'm just using glue, and then ways to do that. And then also you could, you know, put them on these cute little tart tins. So that's one project that we'll be doing. And then I found these. Don't laugh, these are old. These, I used to sell these little assemblage ornaments, and these ones got so bashed up when in traveling. Those of you who do craft shows know what I'm talking about. Things are kind of hard to keep from getting ruined if you don't sell them. So these are pretty old. They're probably about 10 years old, and we'll make some cute ornaments out of boxes and die cuts, and maybe even some bingo cards. And this is an old matchbox with some vintage little pieces of ephemera. So those are a couple of the other things that we'll be working on. Probably still going to do those cute little mittens too. I found another one that I had. Some of you had said that they might be for hair clips. And somebody had a great suggestion to make them into paper clips, which is a great idea, especially since we love making junk journals, right? You could make them for junk journals. Also barrettes too, or something. So very interesting. All right, you guys, see you tomorrow.